YouTube. We should be live on YouTube. Can you folks hear me clearly and see me clearly? How are you all doing today? It's a very, very nice day today. The perfect weather, 70 degrees, light wind, a great day for a walk. Taking an earlier walk today than usual, but not as early as I want to start doing these walks. We're going to get there, folks. We're going to get there. But yeah, today is Game 5. Game 5 of the divisional series between the San Francisco Giants and the LA Dodgers. One of the biggest rivalries in baseball history, stemming back to their New York days and when they both moved out west to California decades ago. That rivalry still exists. And for the first time in history, the Giants and the Dodgers are, playing in the playoffs against each other. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the only reason why that's possible is because of the wild card and having divisional series. If it wasn't for that, that was changed few decades ago. This wouldn't be possible. It's been interesting. The deciding game is tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TBS. And it's at Oracle Park in San Francisco. Oh man, it's going to be a nail biter, and I'm actually going to be going out tonight with the lady I've been hanging out with. Ma'am, if you're listening, good day to you. I know you're at work right now, and so am I. I'm at work too. I love my job. It's going to be a nail biter. We're going to be watching the game tonight. She's a big Giants fan, and that's great. It's great when you hang out with a lady that loves sports. That way you can enjoy, big games like this one. So yeah, we're going to meet up at some sports bar somewhere. I haven't decided where we're going to go yet. I'll figure that out after this stream. But go Giants! Go SF Giants! This series was meant to go 5. Anyway, so let me see. I don't expect a whole lot of people to be here today. I did promote this through the Coach Eli moderator group behind the scenes and everywhere, but hey, we live in the busy world nowadays, folks. And, today's topic is about not having any expectations in the online dating world or dating app world, but you just can't have any expectations, period, nowadays. And even in the past, before we started getting consumed and overly consumed and bombarded by this crazy modern digital world of constant instant information we all live in, you should have still lived your lives back in those days with no expectations, because results come in all aspects of life when you least expect them. If you expect everything to always go your way, it will never go your way. Live by that motto. If you expect everything to always go your way, it will never go your way. That should be the topic of a future stream or video or something. Folks, I've got so much content planned. People have always asked me in the past, how do you come up with content? I'm struggling to create content for my YouTube channel even once a week. I could put out 3, 4, or 5 pieces of content a day for the next year and still be nowhere near the amount of content I have to share and that I have to talk about. Because I'm a life coach. I talk about anything and everything involving life, which is everything, right? At a business and personal level. But yeah, when you least expect things, that's when results start to happen, right? There are many reasons for that. We're going to talk about that here today when I get to the topic in a second here. Gonna wait a few more minutes to see if anybody shows up. If not, I'm just gonna do the show. And I may have to stop off somewhere and use the restroom in between because I had a good amount of coffee this morning and I haven't eaten yet. I'm kind of, like I mentioned in the recent past, I've been kind of doing this intermittent fasting type of diet where I'm trying to lose about 5 pounds. I'm probably about halfway there. I'm just trying to shed a little fat off my lower area. I don't have a whole lot, but I was trying to bulk up a little bit, put on a little more mass, and then take that mass and remove the fat and tone it up. The way you build muscle is you have to eat more, you have to gain weight. But sometimes when you gain even muscle weight, you're also gaining fat at the same time, so then you have to shed it off. And they call that shredding. I guess what you can say I'm doing right now is shredding. I want to be shredded, right? I want to try to look as good as I did in my high school days and, my early 20s and stuff. In my late 40s, to show you folks that, hey, even as you enter your late 40s and early 50s, you can still look good and a lot younger than your age and have a lot more energy than most other people, right? It's all about taking care of yourself. And, part of, staying healthy and fit, I'll just say very briefly while we wait for some more people to come on the show, is getting out here and taking a nice 3 to 4 mile walk each day. Now, you can take a day off or 2 every now and then. If you walk even at least 5 days a week, 3 to 4 miles a day, 5 days a week, and it only takes you about an hour to an hour and a half to do it, you will lose weight and get in better shape. Or if you're in good shape, you'll maintain your shape, right? And you're also going to loosen up your muscles, and your body is just going to flow much better. When you move around, it's kind of like when you don't start a car for a month, right? If you have a car, just sit for a month and you don't start it, it may not start, or it may struggle to start. And the parts haven't moved around, so they've kind of stiffened up a little bit, right? The human body is very similar. You got to keep moving. You got to keep those parts moving, right? Especially when you get older. Because as you get older, those parts start to wear down a little bit. They don't work the same, so you got to take care of them as best as possible. All right, well, let's just get right to it because I don't think any of my mods are going to be here. I'll mod the chat myself. I've got good enough security anyway. So, and if we get a few trolls that pop on in, I'm sure they're watching. They love me. We'll just handle them accordingly. All right, folks, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live from the San Francisco Bay Trail in Redwood City. This is episode number 153. And today's topic is set no expectations for online dating or online dating apps, and you'll eventually reach success. One more time, the topic is set no expectations, zero expectations regarding online dating or dating apps, and you'll eventually reach success. Now, let me go into a little bit more detail regarding what I mean about that. Okay? So, I always have to be very clear because the woman that's watching this, you know how ladies are when they really like you. They they want to make sure that, you know, things are still good. Everything's all good, ma'am. I hope you're enjoying your day at work. And at some point, I hope I don't feel I have to continuously preface with, you know, mentioning you and all this stuff, you know, when I talk about these topics, because I'm here to help as many people as possible reach the success I've reached in online dating currently and in the past. So let's talk about it, okay? You know, I go on Reddit. Reddit's my favorite place to go to. I go on Reddit and I'm subscribed, or I've joined, they call it joined on Reddit. I've joined many groups out there regarding men and their issues with dating. And a lot of these groups have men in their late teens, early 20s, and some even in their 30s, right? And in some cases, or many cases, you have guys in their 40s and 50s that are still struggling with this and dating in general, right? Now, the sooner you learn what I teach here and how to handle things and become a better man, to become more appealing and attractive, right? Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The sooner the younger you learn this, or the younger you learn this, you know, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to have more time to find the right person. And if you want to have kids, you know, you're going to have a better chance of having kids if you figure this out in your teens and 20s. Whereas if you figure this out in your 30s or 40s, especially if you're a woman and your biological clock is ticking or it's expired, then that dream of yours is going to pass you by. But even if you're an older man or older woman, okay, in your 40s and 50s, and you're like, okay, I don't have any kids, I've never been married. Lots of people are in that boat today. Lots of women are single, never been married, and have no kids. And same with men in their 40s and 50s. Right? If you're in that situation, right, you probably need the most help, because my question is, as a lady, why haven't you found, if you're an attractive woman that has a great job, makes great money, you have your own home, your own car and all that, why haven't you found someone to stick around and marry you and have kids with you? Well, the truth of the matter is, and I've been talking about this for a while, it's because you've been Chad chasing all along. You're trying to find the absolute most attractive man on the planet that's going to be willing to settle down with you and have a family with you, right? But those guys, those super extremely good looking guys, we call them Chads, right? Chads and Tyrones. I keep saying that, and I'll keep saying that till men and women both understand this. Those Chads, they get a lot of attention on the male side, just like most women get on the female side. See, all women get attention nowadays because of the thirsty beta males. But on the male side of things, the men that get the most attention are the 9s and the 10s. Because even women that are 5, 6, 7, or 8. Is that a private plane? Or no, that looks like a, I don't know if that's a private plane or if that's an actual jet. It looks like a jet. Is it landing in San Carlos or is it going to SFO? That's quite a big jet. Looks like a big jet to land in San Carlos, but it looks like it's landing in San Carlos. Wow. I didn't know that these small airports can handle the landing of big jets. Okay. Maybe that's like one of those planes like Donald Trump has, right? So, like I was saying, so a lot of the women, the reason why they're single is because a lot of you thirsty beta males overly inflate the value of all women. You're so desperate and needy and weak and insecure. And now in these dating apps nowadays, you're the type of guys that swipe right on every woman no matter what, right? So all these women are getting tons of attention, and in their heads, they're thinking that, okay, if I can get the attention of all these guys, I'm not going to focus on them. I'm going to go on the guys I can't get, the 9s and 10s. I want to get something that's going to be more difficult to get. You see, if you guys make it too easy, if you show too much interest and you make it too easy for a woman, they get bored. Women want a little bit of a challenge. They want to feel, I keep saying this, I'll say it again. Women want to feel like they're winning a prize when you as a man come into their life. Even modern day women nowadays that are liberated and working and have their own shit, right? They still, and more so nowadays because of that, they want to feel like they're dating up, right? It's called hypergamy, right? Look it up if you don't know what it means, right? Women have always been hypergamous by nature throughout the inception of time, since the inception of time, right? So with that being said, we have a lot of guys nowadays that are complaining about the online dating world. I have no success. I pay for the premium package. I swiped right on all women, right? And I'm getting very little to no results. And the few women that match with me, might just say hi, and I say hi back, and then nothing happens, right? Well, there's your first clue right there. A woman that's really interested in you, first of all, I have to say this again, like I've been saying all along. No matter what any man or woman thinks, before anything else can happen, there has to be a large rush or large spark of physical attraction when you first see each other. As a man, you've got to feel very sexually attracted to your woman. You have to feel like she's beautiful. You have to feel like deep within, like you're winning a prize. But you don't want to come off that way because, remember, because women are emotional beings and they're different than men biologically, they have to feel like you're more valuable than they are. Even if you both are equal, which is fine, women have to perceive you to be more valuable than them, and they have to perceive you to be a catch and a prize, right? And this goes back to the days of traditionalism before women were liberated, where they were dependent on a man for survival. So they were more so seeking for the strongest man, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? Now, a lot of you guys out there, again, you're complaining because you're not getting the results that you feel you should be getting. And why does that happen? Well, you guys complain that, oh, okay, women want the hottest men, and, you know, they want men that make the most money and this and that. To a certain extent, that is true, but you folks are not really reading that in the right way. When women say they want a successful man, you don't have to be rich. You just have to be able to take care of yourself, make a decent amount of money to take care of yourself and to be able to go out and pay for dates, right? You have a car, you take care of the car, you can afford to put gas in it, you can afford weekend getaways, right? And if you want to have a family, right, you also need to make enough money at the time you meet the woman or be working towards it to be able to support a family. Because women are going to look at that. Women are looking for stability, right? Right? And on the flip side, because women are liberated, most women, most good women nowadays, are also focused on their career. And you should be looking for a woman that, you know, is at least making some money, and if she's not where she wants to be, okay, she's striving to get better, right? And for me personally, I have no problem with a woman making half of what I'm making or a third of what I'm making. I have no problem with that, as long as she's striving to get better, right? And if I start dating a woman that makes half or a third of what I make, no problem, right? We're going to figure that out along the way. And as long as she's striving to better herself, right, she'll eventually get there. Not a problem at all. But as a man, you've got to be in a very good financial position for yourself to be attractive to women. And don't come out and say, guys, well, women are all about the money. No. They want to know that you're a man that has his shit together and is able to even just take care of yourself, let alone take care of her and any family you may have if you get married, right? If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to be able to provide for the family, or at least do your part for the family if it gets to that point, right? So before you guys put yourself out there, you got to be focused on your purpose. And if you're just getting out of college, get a good job and focus on bettering yourself and making as much money as possible. Additionally, and I'm going to have to stop here in a second. There are people coming. And I need to use the restroom. I'm gonna pull off to the side here and wait for some people to pass. I'll go off the air in a second, and I will use the restroom. Give me a second here, folks. While I wait, I'll come over here and show you folks this other trail here that is in the works. It looks like it's a gravel trail. It looks like it is paved. I'm wondering when it's going to open. So give me a second here. Okay, give me a second here. There's some music playing in the background there from that guy. And I'm gonna keep on moving forward. There's some other people coming, and I will find another spot. Go in the bushes. That's what you have to do on the hiking trails. There are no restrooms out here. You got to go in the bushes. Just give me a second, folks, and we'll get right back to it. All right, folks, I'm going to go offline for just a couple minutes or so, and I will be right back. Had to go off the trail for a second and take care of some business. All right, so where do we leave off? So a lot of guys are struggling and complaining why online dating's not working for them, because they have their expectations set very high. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you should have zero expectations, no expectations. I actually was inspired to do this topic by, or from a Reddit posting that I read today in the subreddit dating. I may end up doing an in-studio pre-recorded video to go over that and show you the comments and see what these guys are writing, because a lot of these guys just don't get it. And I'm actually trying to even, spend more time in these forums and, really try to help these guys. But here's the problem. A lot of them are just not open to the help. A lot of them are just angry and bitter, right? And you can only help people that are open to the help. Give me just a few seconds here. So we were talking about money and resources, right? Now let's talk about physical appearance and physical attraction. And I can't emphasize this enough. And as much as I hate to admit it, because I'm not a superficial person, we live in a very superficial world. And quite frankly, people would just rather be with attractive people that take care of themselves, right? Why would you prefer to be with a person that's not attractive over someone that's attractive and healthy and fit, right? Because typically, people that take care of themselves are not only going to be around longer, they're going to live longer, but they're typically, nicer people. They're typically more positive people, right? Now, there are a lot of people that are in very good shape and they let it get to their head. But I'm going to exclude those people. For the most part, people that are healthy and fit and attractive and look good are typically nicer people because they love what they see in the mirror, so they love themselves, right? So physical attraction is extremely important when it comes to not only online dating or dating apps like we call them nowadays, but dating in general, even if you're meeting people in person. More so when you're meeting people in person, because why would you approach somebody in person when you know absolutely nothing about them? At least on some of these dating apps and sites, you get some information about who they are and, what they like and what they're seeking. But in person, you don't have any clue. All you're seeing is what they look like, right? So if you're a very unattractive man that is not that financially stable, and you have poor social skills, and you try to approach a 9 or a 10 looking woman, come on now. You think you're going to get anywhere? So how do you handle this? Okay? Most of the guys that don't have luck in online dating are below average looking. Let's just be real about it. Are below average looking. And some of them are even just very unattractive. But let's just say below average and below that, which includes the very unattractive people as well too, right? If you're a below average looking man in this modern world where women are liberated, right? You're going to have very little to zero chance of ever getting any woman, even women that are below average too. Because the below average women, they all still want the Chads and Tyrones and 9s and 10s. So you think you have a shot, even with women that are below average like you? No, you don't. And again, that's because the thirsty beta males have overly inflated their value, right? You can thank you and other guys like you for overly inflating their value, making the mission worse for you or harder for you, right? But how do you turn that around? What do you do? What can you do to turn that around? The younger, the better. But even if you're in your 40s or 50s and you're overweight by 40 or 50 pounds, go on a diet and lose the weight. And I know it's easier said than done. But motivate yourself. Find a way to get on some regimen like I do. Take a walk 3 or 4 miles every day. Cut your calories in half or around 1,500. And lose that 40 or 50 pounds. And here's what's going to happen. When you start losing that weight, when you lose the first 20 pounds, weight comes off of the extremities first. And for a man, it comes off your stomach last. Other extremities are like your face, like your arms, your legs, right? The way you can tell that you're really losing weight is by looking at your face. People that are overweight seem to have a lot more fat on their face, and they don't have that crisp jawline, right? Right? You have more of a puffy face. When you lose your first 20 pounds out of the 50, I'm just using 50 pounds as an example that someone may need to lose, right? After you lose the first 20 pounds, you're going to see your face looking a lot healthier, right? You're going to look in the mirror and be like, oh shit, this is working. If I keep doing this for another 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and I lose the other 30 pounds, I'll be in really good shape. I can attract that hot chick finally. Well, that is true. But you shouldn't do it for that reason. Yes, it is going to help you attract women a lot easier, right? But you should do it for yourself. You should do it first and foremost to get healthy and stay healthy and live a longer, healthier life. But at the same time, you're going to start loving yourself more, and that's going to be more attractive to women, right? Especially on these online dating sites and apps, right? Where you're swiping left and right on most of these sites. I don't really like the swipe left and swipe right culture. You can go on sites like Match.com and eHarmony, and there are a few others that are still old school where you send messages and you don't have to swipe left or right. I mean, they all have a like aspect nowadays. This like thing that was created by, I think Twitter created the like. I think it was Twitter that created that, and then I think Facebook followed suit after that. This like button that social media created has worked its way over to the dating world. And it's kind of made it a bit more superficial because most sites focus now on do I like the way this person looks or not, despite who they are, what they bring to the table, right? And while it is, like I said, very superficial, unfortunately, if there isn't a large spark of physical attraction between the man and the woman when they first meet or land eyes on each other's pictures on a dating app or dating site, it doesn't matter how well the profile is written. It doesn't matter how much money both sides make. It doesn't matter how good everything else is. I'm trying to tell you guys that physical attraction and being healthy and as fit as possible, you don't have to be in the perfect shape, but be reasonably healthy. There are some women out there that I've heard, will say, I don't even mind dating a good guy that smells nice and is proportionate, but may have a little bit of a beer belly. And let me tell you what those women are what they mean by that. What they mean by that are maybe 5 or 10 vanity pounds, or maybe 20 vanity pounds, or maybe even up to 30 vanity pounds. But I will tell you this. If you're a man and you're more than 30 pounds overweight, 40 or 50 pounds overweight, most women will not be attracted to that. Even those women that say, I don't mind if a man is a little extra on him, right? I'm sure you guys have heard women say that, right? And maybe you are one of those guys, right? And she sees your pictures where you have a little extra on you, right? And she's still attracted to it because she's attracted to that level of having that little extra on you, right? Let's say in your pictures, you appear to her to be 20 or 30 pounds heavier. You're a little bit chubby, but you're proportionate. You have a good, nice face, and you seem healthy, right? And you have a good personality, right? They meet you, and those were pictures that you put up 5 to 10 years ago. And now you're 50, 60 pounds overweight, and then you're wondering why there's no attraction in person. See, guys, you got to understand something. You got to understand something. Physical attraction is important. And if it's not there, right? And if you catfish women just to get on a date with them, they're going to see the real you. They're going to be instantly turned off by you the moment they see you. You're wasting your time. You're wasting her time. You're wasting the time it takes to get ready, her to get ready, and then drive wherever you're meeting and waste gas. Why waste your time? Why waste your time? Why do that? Right? Just be honest, right? Be honest about it, right? But again, to give yourself the best possible shot of winning at online dating and finding someone good out there, like I have in the past many times, you got to take care of yourself physically. You got to get in good shape. And once you get in good shape, you got to take good pictures. And don't take any of these crappy pictures. Like some people take pictures with their smartphone, which smartphone can take good pictures nowadays. But some people have old pictures and horrible lighting. And the picture is kind of blurry, right? And sometimes I see some of these women on online dating. This was when I was looking. Obviously now I've got someone. But when I was looking in the past, a lot of women would take screenshots of their Instagram photos from their Instagram on their phone and then upload it to the dating app. That's laziness, ladies. You need to re-upload the original picture or take a new high-quality original picture. I've seen guys do that too. Now, ladies can more so get away with it because of the thirsty beta males, but still, you know, if I was still looking for someone in the dating world, and I came across when I would come across pictures like that are screenshot from the Instagram app on their phone because they're too lazy to find the original picture, or they don't have the original picture, or they just don't want to take a new high quality original picture, I would bypass those postings or those profiles, right? So even as a man, I look at that stuff too. So women look at it too. Women are looking to see how good your pictures are. Even if you're in good shape, okay, what kind of pictures are you sharing? Are you sharing some professional pictures like I have? Are you sharing some pictures out in nature like I have? You have different outfits. Are your outfits nice and clean initially when you take the pictures? Okay, are you smiling in your pictures, right? Are your pictures high resolution to the point of if they were to download your pictures and zoom in on them, they'd be able to clearly see your face, not a bunch of pixels? It is amazing what a lot of people will do nowadays to try to hide their blemishes, right? That are going to be seen crystal clear the first time you meet up, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. That's why you guys are failing at online dating. Now, during the second part of the show here, and let me check out the chat here. It's very interesting that a lot of my mods have not been around lately. That's okay. They got other things going on. Nobody coming right now, so this is a good time to come back to the observation deck. Folks, I will be going to some different locations, but this is just an easy trail to get to at a moment's notice on any given day. And today, you know, I'm only going to do one side of this trail. I'm not going to do the other side like I've been doing lately because I don't have a whole lot of time. I got to go back home and start getting ready to go out tonight for the Giants game. But during the second half of the show, I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts about your expectations about the online dating world and the fact that you should have none, and how that will affect you when you have no expectations. I kind of shared a little bit about that during the first part of the show, but I'm going to share it in a little more detail, and I want to try to I want to try to get you guys to understand, even if you have your shit together, even if you're a good-looking guy, you dress nice, you have high-resolution pictures, you fill out your profile as much as possible and as accurately as possible on whatever site you use, depending on their limitations. Some sites like Match.com let you put a whole book in there. Other sites like Tinder and what do you call it? Bumble, Hinge, etc. They let you write little excerpts in there, right? Even if you have everything set perfectly, right? And you're a good-looking guy, or at least an average to above average looking guy, right? As long as you're not a below average looking guy and you have, great pictures and a great profile, you will have success as long as you do what I'm going to tell you here in just a few minutes. I just want to enjoy this beautiful scenery here for a second. Is that an egret in there? Or is that a duck? Typically the white ones are egrets, but that's not fully white. I think that's a duck. From here, you can see planes flying all over the Bay Area. There are a couple major there are 3 major airports here. There's the most major one is in San Francisco, up that way. Then there's Oakland International. San Francisco International Airport is that way. When you go east, Oakland International Airport is that way. And when you go south, San Jose International Airport is down in the South Bay. Yeah, we've got 3 big airports here in the Bay Area. Obviously, it's one of the most populated areas in the U.S. And most of the main businesses are headquartered here. Lots of business travel regularly, and lots of vacation travel as well, because these people that work hard out here and make good money, they travel a lot. Anyway, let me check out the chat real quick in case anybody popped on in. Okay, well, we have 10 people here. 2 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, because folks, I'm going to be pumping out a ton of content. And I'm doing it in a way that's not going to burn myself out. You're going to see a lot more raw content from me. For the most part, the only content that's going to be even somewhat edited, I wouldn't even consider it edited because I edit on the fly. I use OBS from the studio when I record my videos. And basically, I do everything on the fly that I would have had to edit in post-production. So that way I can get, things out quicker. And a lot of people are doing that nowadays, especially people that do news reporting and people that, do dating stories like myself. We can just get on a program like Open Broadcast Software where we can transition through scenes. We can record the video in high quality and, show us on the screen. Maybe have a main screen like I do, and then when we switch over to a browser screen to show you what we're reading, right, and the comment section as well, then, I put myself on the bottom right, transparent. I have a green screen so I can do that. And what that does, as I come back down the observation deck, what that does is it cuts your production time significantly, because the more you have to go back and edit, that takes time to edit, and you have to render everything out again, right? Whereas if you're recording something locally on your hard drive, it's just being saved as you're doing it. And as long as you take into consideration that you're going to put out this video, you're going to try to do it as it would have been edited. I'll start my videos right away and I'll hit record and I'll say, welcome to navigating the modern world. So that way there's not a big gap in the beginning I have to cut out through post, right? At the very end, I'll play my end screen through OBS instead of having to add it through post-production in the video editing and rendering program, right? And so I've been really working on finding ways to increase my productivity while still giving you, the highest quality content possible. And like I said, most of that's going to be coming from the studio with these stories I'm going to be sharing. And by the way, I ended up releasing part 2 of the video series I recently did regarding the truth about why the divorce rate is so high in the modern world. Part 2 was released a couple hours ago. Check that out. Go back on my YouTube channel through your app or your laptop or desktop, and you'll see the videos there. You folks know how to navigate YouTube. I don't have to tell you. Go watch part 1 first if you haven't seen it. It's about 30 minutes, and I think part 2 is almost 35 minutes. Some interesting information there that I think you guys and gals are both gonna go, wow, yeah, okay, I get it, right? Now, many of you that have been following me for a while already know this, but there are a lot of people that don't, and that's why I keep repeating things, right? Repetition's the mother of skill, right? I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but when you keep repeating things, people finally end up getting it, right? And even people that finally end up getting it need a refresher every now and then so they don't slide backwards, right? Even I need a refresher every now and then. Thank you. I just got another thumbs up from somebody, and no one's chatting. Who just thumbed this up? Can you at least say hi? Thank you for thumbing the video up. I appreciate it. I really do. So let's talk about not having any expectations, having zero expectations with online dating or dating apps. And I'm even just going to throw in there dating in person, which most people don't do cold approach anymore in person. But if you're one that does or wants to consider doing it, which is not a bad thing, the same principles pretty much apply, right? So let's say you get yourself into really good shape. Lewis Fuller, good afternoon, Eli. I just had 3 likes and someone took one away. So a troll is trying to mess with me, huh? Well, have a good day, troll. And if you come in here, Lewis Fuller will be happy to ban you, right, Lewis Fuller? Lewis, I look forward over the next week or 2 for you getting that Wi-Fi extender. And once you get that, Lewis, I'm going to help you set it up, and we're going to do some regular live streams together on your channel and my channel, right? Right, Lewis? You're going to have no more issues with your internet cutting out. Right, brother? Just gave you a like. We have 4 likes now. Thank you. I'm not even going to look because sometimes the trolls, they'll keep liking and unliking for that number to fluctuate just to get the reaction. That's how pathetic these people are. It's rather comical to me. It really is. But anyway, so let's say that you've gotten yourself into good shape, or you already were in good shape. You're a good-looking guy, right? You dress nice, you smell nice, you take great quality, high-resolution pictures for your dating profiles or dating apps, right? Another thing, guys, and this is crucial. A lot of you guys out there, your spelling and grammar is atrocious. You got to work on your spelling and grammar. You got to proofread stuff. There are too many tools you can use online for free to check your spelling and grammar, and lots of you aren't doing that, right? And this even includes guys that are educated and smart, right? If you're a smart and educated man and you're good looking, but you rush through your dating profile because you want to get your high quality, attractive pictures out there, so you kind of what do you call it? You kind of cherry pick through what you write and how you write it on these apps and dating sites, and you make a lot of grammar and spelling errors, that's going to affect you. That is going to affect you, because there are women that look at it, the right women that you're trying to attract, not just attractive women, women that have great personalities and are loyal and faithful and want a real relationship and possible marriage. They're looking at your grammar and spelling too. You don't want to be with a dumb woman, so do you think she wants to be with a dumb man? So think about that, right? You got to get your spelling and grammar in check. You got to be honest in your profile. You have to be clear with what you're seeking and say it in the way that is compelling, right? With perfect grammar and spelling. Double check, triple check, quadruple check your grammar and spelling. So you've got your grammar and spelling in check. You've got high resolution photos, at least 4 or 5, guys. And the majority of them should be full body pictures, right? You do want to put 1 or 2 headshots, because women like to look at your face. They want to make sure your face is nice and smooth. No craters on there. They used to call me crater face when I was younger because I had some pimples, but got rid of them, after my first couple years in high school, never had them again. And you got to take care of myself. But yeah, women want to see if your face is smooth. They want to see your smile. They want to see your eyes. They really want to see a close-up of your face, 1 or 2. But then they also want to see your full body to see what you look like, right? The majority of your pictures should be high quality, head to toe, full body shots, and a couple of headshots, right? And make them high resolution and get as close to the camera as possible. Because you want women to zoom in. If they download these pictures, you want them to zoom in as closely as possible with no loss of resolution to actually see what you look like, to see if they're actually physically attracted to you. So you got that all set, right? Everything is all good. Now, you go on these dating apps, you swipe right on women you're attracted to. Or you go on to Match.com and you message a bunch of women. And you go on to whatever sites you use, right? Okay? Now, this is what you guys don't understand. This is where you should have no expectations. You put yourself out there, you hope for the best, but you expect nothing. I didn't say hope for the best and expect the worst, right? Just don't expect anything, right? You hope for the best, but expect nothing. It's also a psychological thing, because when you expect nothing, like I said earlier, those that expect nothing are more likely to get results. When you expect nothing, results will happen down the road when the time is right, as long as you keep being you and keep doing what you're doing and keep putting yourself out there. If you expect everything, you get nothing. Just remember that. When you expect something, or you expect everything to go your way, you get nothing. Zero, zilch, zip, right? So, let's say you do what a lot of guys do. I used to do this myself. I would sometimes take a couple hours each day to look at profiles and send 50 or 100 messages, right? Or I would swipe, right? Okay? There are times where you're going to get no responses, even as a good-looking guy that has his shit together. You can be the perfect-looking guy, and there are times where you'll get 0 responses. There are other times where you might get 5 or 10 connections, right? There are times where you might get 20 or 30, even as a guy. If you put yourself out there enough and you're not below average looking and you have nice pictures and everything I said a few minutes ago, okay? Even average guys, even average looking guys can have success in online dating as long as you're not below average. As long as you keep putting yourself out there, you look at profiles, you send messages to women you feel you click with, and then you're patient. Now, typically, most women, when they're interested in you, are going to get back to you right away or within 24 hours, right? And depending on what they say, some might just say hi. If they just say hi, they're either spamming or they have a low level of interest, right? I wouldn't focus on those. But the ones that I used to focus on when I was looking were ones that would send me a 1 to 2 paragraph response, or at least say, I really like what you wrote in your profile. You're very honest and upfront. That's refreshing. Eli, I'd love to get to know you, right? Okay? But even then, at that point, you respond to them and you try to get them to the phone and see if they're open to a phone call so you can get to know each other by voice before meeting, right? Some of those women will say, I don't talk on the phone, I don't like the phone, I just want to meet and see if it works. Those are the types of women I would suggest you avoid, because they're trying to hide something, or they're just so tired of talking on the phone with people that don't end up working out with them in person that they just want to meet to see if there's physical attraction. I've had women in the past just say, let's just meet and see if there's chemistry, right? What they're saying in that situation is they've been on so many dates, they've talked to so many guys by phone, they've wasted hours, fallen in love with a guy's personality and emotionally connecting with him, mentally connecting with him, and then they meet in person and there's absolutely zero chemistry. I just shared your stream out. Thank you, Lewis. Okay, I'm back. My internet wants to act up for some reason. Well, Lewis, we know why your internet's acting up. It's acting up because you're too far from the Wi-Fi router. That's why I sent you some money to buy that extender, Lewis. I mean, it's going to be like that until you get the extender and hook it up, Lewis. Come on, dog. Don't make me talk all ghetto on you, dude. Come on, dog. I don't talk that way. Hey, I'm not saying anything bad about people that do. It's just not my style. Not my cup of tea. And I'll be getting it on October 28th. Excellent, Lewis. Today is what, October 14th? So that's in 2 weeks, Lewis, you're getting it, right? 14 days? 2 weeks away. Lewis, why does it take so long for Wish to ship things out? Do they have to first get it from their supplier? Does it come from somewhere else, Lewis? Does it come from China or somewhere? I mean, that's quite a long shipping process, like a month. For something on Amazon, you'd get same day, next day, or 2 day at the most. Anyway, it is what it is. At least you're getting it, Lewis, and we're resolving the issue. It's taking forever because coming from China, so you're probably getting a knockoff. Either you're getting a knockoff of the original product, or it's coming from China, where it's being produced, even for the US, and it has to go through customs and all that. Yeah, there have been some products I've had to order from China that I couldn't find in the US, like some of the computer parts for some of my older computers that are like 8 to 10 years old that I wanted to kind of revive. They still make those parts, but they're not available in the US anymore because most people, most shops are not going to carry things that aren't going to move here in the US. But in China, they've got everything. And they can produce everything quickly, and it's much cheaper to produce it and store it there than it is out here. So I get it. I've had to order even some computer parts from China, and it takes 3 weeks to a month, sometimes 5 or 6 weeks. And that's because of the shipping process overseas. So let's continue here. So, you guys, that have your shit together. Like I said, you're good looking, You have nice pictures, nice profiles. You're messaging a bunch of women, right? Sometimes you're going to get messages, sometimes you're not. Sometimes when you get messages from 5 or 10 women in a given day, some women will respond to you and just say hi. Some will respond to you in detail. I would focus on the ones that respond to you in detail. Try to get their phone number and try to get them on a phone call. If they're not willing to talk by phone, that's where you draw the line. You can say, well, you can say, ma'am, whatever her name is. Let's say her name is Kathy. Say, Kathy, I understand where you're coming from, respectfully. I don't mean anyone that I don't have at least one phone call with. I want to get a feeling of the person's voice and personality and tone, right? And if you're not open to that, I understand. Feel free to block me, ghost me, whatever. But if you understand, I'd love to get to know you, and just leave it at that. In most of those cases, the women will say, thank you for understanding, or they'll just block you, or, whatever, right? You don't want to focus too much energy on that. You want to find a woman that has a high level of interest in you, because she really truly is enamored by your pictures and you're enamored by hers. And in that case, the conversation will just flow naturally. It'll go from the profile to talking through the messaging app or the dating site, to exchanging numbers, to talking by phone once or maybe twice, and then setting up a date and seeing if there's chemistry in person. That's what you guys need to focus on and look for, right? Okay? But here's the thing. A lot of you guys are very impatient, and you don't realize that women are doing the same thing. They're talking to lots of guys just like you're talking to lots of women. A lot of guys get upset at the fact that, okay, I don't have a chance because this woman's getting hundreds of messages. Well, while you may not be getting hundreds of messages, dude, you're still probably getting, if you're a decent looking guy and have a good profile with high resolution images and stuff like that, right? You're probably getting 5 to 10 messages a day. She may be getting 100, but you're getting 5 to 10, right? And here's the thing. What you guys don't understand is that the majority of those tons of messages that women get per day are from thirsty beta males that they eliminate, right? So if you guys learn to understand that you guys are probably the guys that do get messages, right? You are technically in competition with a lot of other guys, but not really, because the women that respond to you are going to be of more quality than the men that respond to women. An example, let's say a woman gets 100 messages in a day and you get 10, right? As a man, right? That seems about right for a decent looking guy compared to a decent looking woman, right? Out of those 100 messages the woman gets, she may be physically attracted to 4 or 5 of those guys. And then maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of them, she's not only physically attracted to, but she likes what they wrote. Now, you as a man may only get 5 or 10 messages per day. Let's say 10, right? But you as a man, because women are more picky and choosy who they get back to, right? And they're gonna, if you wrote a good profile, you got a better chance of them getting back to you based on what they see in your profile. You as a man have a better chance of getting higher quality messages. So out of those 10 messages you get from women in a day, maybe 7 or 8 of them are from women that have great grammar and spelling, are on the same page as you, send you more than just a hi. They say, hi, Eli, or hi, Jack, or hi, whatever, right? I really like your profile. You're direct. I respect that. I'd love to get to know you. What's the next step? Whatever, right? So what's happening to you guys out there that you're not realizing is that you're losing your patience, right? And if you're patient in the online dating world, and you just go about your days, you go to work, you hang out with your friends, hang out with your family, right? And you just put out enough messages daily, and you create great profiles, at some point, you're going to get a few women that are really going to be into you, and then you're going to be able to choose one that you go out with and more than likely start a relationship with, right? Let me give you another example. In the past, when I was looking, again, I'm not looking now, ma'am. I know you're watching from work. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to be ending this stream in about 20 minutes and then heading home and getting ready to come and hang out with you and watch the Giants game tonight. But in the past, and this has happened on several occasions, I've sent messages to women in the past, and they got back to me a month or 2 or 3 later. What does that mean? Okay? A lot of people in the online dating world, they don't deactivate their profiles or delete their profiles. And the reason why that's done is just in case, right? Right? In case things don't work out for whatever reason with somebody you're with. You know, you don't have to redo it. It's still there, right? And plus, the longer you are with a dating site and you have a history with them, in case anything ever goes wrong, they're more prone to resolve your issues, okay? Such as people falsely flagging your profiles and stuff like that, right? So yeah, why do sometimes women respond to you a month or 2 or 3 down the road? Because they're testing the waters with other guys, just like you're testing the waters with other women. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe they were dating some guy for a month or 2, right? Maybe they paid for a 6-month or year subscription and they found someone and they started dating them. But, you know, they didn't want to cancel their membership because they paid for it. And in case it didn't work out with this guy, they wanted to be able to just go back on there and see, you know, what the next best thing is, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Both men and women do that, but more so men scrutinize women for doing the same thing that men are doing, right? And what men aren't realizing is that, to be quite honest, if you guys understand this as well as I explained it here today, you guys have a better chance of finding a good partner than women do. Because most women are getting bombarded by thirsty beta males, right? Now, here's the thing. It's much easier for women to just hook up and get laid. Let's be real about it. But I'm not talking about that, okay? It is definitely much easier for women to just hook up and get laid. Doesn't matter what they look like. What I'm talking about is finding somebody to establish a real deep connection, a meaningful connection, and have an everlasting long-term relationship with. That's what I focus my content on. If you guys and gals just want to get laid, I'll tell you this. Women are in control of that. But yes, if you do just want to get laid and you're a guy and you have what's called game, you can get laid. I don't sit here and teach that. And I don't really condone that, but hey, I'm not going to tell you folks how to live your life. I'm only here to help people that are looking to build relationships. Business, personal, dating, whatever, right? I'm not here. I'm not a hookup coach. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm a relationship coach. I love helping people better bond and connect at deeper levels, whether it's for business or personal or friendship. Yeah, I've been walking pretty much every day for a while now, and I'm beginning to really feel like I'm toning up a little bit more. Because like I said earlier, and I've been saying for the last several weeks, I've been kind of trying to bulk up a little bit. Build some more of my muscle back like I had in my younger days. And then lose the fat. Because when you bulk up and you gain muscle, you're going to gain a little fat, and then you got to lose the fat. Now, I'm not grotesquely overweight. I don't have a beer belly, but, you know, I put on about 5 pounds of fat while I was bulking up over the last month or 2, and now I'm just losing it. I think I've lost about 2.5 to 3 pounds of it. So, and the woman behind the scenes is like, "You look good to me, baby." I know what you're thinking, man, but this is how I look at myself personally. I just want to be the best version of myself I can be. That has nothing to do with you, ma'am. I'm just, I love working on myself. Just like you like working on yourself too, right? Anyway, maybe what's more attractive to you, ma'am, is the fact that I continue to work on myself, even though you think I'm already good enough, which I'm not saying I'm not good enough, ma'am, but I always like to better myself. That's what I want to teach every man and woman. You can always better yourselves, no matter how good you already are. Going a little bit uphill. Let me give you this perspective. I really look forward to getting out tonight. I really haven't gone out that much since I saw this lady I've been hanging out with last week. Been trying to restructure my business and trying to completely finally get rid of even the last bit of my pinched nerve, the sciatica. Just been trying to rest more. And I've hung out a few times in the evening with my mother. She's come and picked me up, and we've had my mother and I, we'll hang out sometimes, in the evening, and we'll go like through a McDonald's drive-thru and get an ice cream cone and just drive around and talk. And I'm really trying to make more time and effort for my mother because, she just turned 71. And I want to enjoy every minute with her possible. And it's not always possible because, I've got to focus on my stuff too. But I guess you can kind of say I'm trying to make up for lost time. All right, 5 thumbs up. Thank you so much, folks. I mean, we have 5 thumbs up here and one person that's commenting. So we have 5 thumbs up from 5 different people. And one of them is from you, Lewis. I appreciate that. But 4 other people that either are not commenting in the chat or chatting in the chat, or they're blocked here. And if you're blocked here and you're thumbing me up, obviously, you enjoy the content. Reach out to me at Coach Eli at coacheli.com. And if I've blocked you at that email in the past, you can reach out to me at Sanctuary, SANCTUARY, at coacheli.com. Sanctuary is an email I still have active. It'll always be active. I can add like up to 250 emails on my domain email, where I would take, story requests from viewers that wanted to send me their story regarding something they're going through with a relationship or business or whatever. And I'm still open to doing that. If you folks want to submit your personal stories, you can remain anonymous. That's no problem. But if you want to submit your stories regarding something that you need help with, that you're struggling with, business or personal, you can submit them to Sanctuary, SANCTUARY, at coach.eliasmelas.com. Both my actual primary email, Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com, and Sanctuary, SANCTUARY, at coach.eliasmelas.com, are below in the description of all my videos, including this one. So yeah, it's just, so now we're down to 3. So now I know what's going on. It's that one troll, Lewis, that continues to troll me. He wants me to think that I have more likes than I do. So we're just not going to focus any attention on him. It's so hilarious that these people that have been trolling me for years just never want to give up, right? does absolutely nothing to bother me. Anyway, so a lot of times women will take a long time to respond to you. They're talking to other guys. Maybe they started to date another guy. Maybe their account's still active because they paid. A lot of people, will pay for a 3 or 6 or 1 year, 3 or 6 or 12 month, which is what I mean, membership on these sites because they're thinking, okay, I'm not gonna get lucky right away. I'm going to take my time, right? But what happens when you pay for 6 months or a year? Within a week or two, you find that person. That's called Murphy's Law. That's called Murphy's Law. I've seen that happen before, right? I think that's how it happened when I met my ex Dana that used to run my other channel with me. But yeah, so let's say, you send these women a message. They appear to be active, but they're not. And then it doesn't work out with the guy that they initially chose. So they're back on the dating site, dating app, and they get to your message. And then they respond to you. And they'll say something like, I just came across your message. I don't know if you're still single or not, but you seem like a great guy. I was seeing someone that didn't work out. And you seem like someone that, hey, it could go somewhere, right? Let me know if you're still single, and maybe you're not even on this app. I've had that happen in the past when I was looking back in those days, right? That's what happens, guys. Women are not trying to ignore you, okay? They're not trying to ignore you, and even the ones that send you more detailed messages and don't respond for a while are probably talking to a couple other guys, and maybe they give one a chance, so they put you on the back burner. Look, I would never be put on backup status. I've said that before. I'll say it again. But the truth of the matter is this. Okay, you're only on backup status if you let it stop you from pursuing other options, right? So what I mean by that is, like I said, you're talking with a woman. She responds to your initial message or your profile and says she likes it, she's interested in talking more. You get back with her, you ask her for her number, and then you get no response, right? But a month down the road, you get a response back from that same woman, right? Now, was she putting you on backup status? Maybe, kind of, sort of, but she was talking to somebody else that happened to pan out, and so she basically stopped paying attention to the dating app. You as a man would do the same thing, right? Now, the only way that would be perceived as being on backup status is if you sat there after you responded to her positive message and asked for her number and she didn't get back to you. If you sat for that entire month before she got back to you and waited for her without pursuing any other options, then you're on backup status. You're not on backup status when you leave your options open until you find the right one. That's what you guys want to do, right? And that's what women are doing. Both men and women are leaving their options open until they find the right one, right? But it's not technically considered being put on backup status unless you allow it to be that way, meaning that you're only going to message one woman. If she responds to you and even takes a month to get back to you, you're not going to pursue any other options. That's stupid. That's just stupid. So to you guys out there, when you have no expectations, you just respond to the people, to the women that you feel are communicating with you at the level you want to be communicated with, right? And just understand that, hey, both you and her are seeking to find the right one. Is it a possibility it could be you and her? Sure. Or it could be somebody else that she's looking or she's talking with or you're talking with, right? It's an option, right? And you have to be patient, right? Be patient, go on with your days. Don't expect anything. Hang out with friends, hang out with family. Go take a walk by yourself like I do, right? Do other things to occupy your time, right? Come home, watch a movie on Netflix. That's occupying your time. Even if you're at home, you have so many options nowadays, right? Don't overthink it. When you don't think about it and you least expect it, and you've done enough to put yourself out there with good profiles, good pictures, high quality images, well-written profiles, and you got some messages that you sent out or you swiped right on a bunch, right? Okay, you've done the legwork. Now just sit back and move on with your life. And maybe every so often go swipe right on a few more or send a few more messages. You know, if you get an hour or half an hour on any given day, you can send some more messages and then just sit back. And if you start communicating with some women, guys, be patient, right? You never know what's going to happen. You don't know who they're talking with, how many people they're talking with. They're trying to figure out if you're the right one or someone else is. Now, if you're not the right one for them, or if she's not the right one for you, somebody else will be. But keep yourself in a positive state. Don't overthink it. Don't let it consume you. Don't get upset. Don't expect anything. When you don't expect anything, the results will surprise you, right? And before I wrap this up, here's the thing. Do not ever, ever respond to a woman twice saying that, did you get my last message? That's weak, needy, desperate, insecure, and pathetic. The women that aren't getting back to you have a better option they're currently talking with or going out with. And if that doesn't work out, they may revert back to you or they may never. But if you come back at her and say, hey, look, I haven't heard from you in a week. I asked for your number. You didn't give me your number. What's going on, right? She'll probably ghost you. But if you just let it sit idle and you moved on to other options and you just were relaxed and patient, maybe a couple weeks or a month down the road, when the guy that she thought it was going to work out with doesn't work out, she'll come back and circle back around to you. Now, I hate when women say circle back. You know what I'm saying? She'll come back to you, right? And at that point, you can decide and see, hey, if it's worth pursuing. Another thing is this, one final thing. You want to maximize your possibilities, guys. Guys, you want to maximize your possibilities. And the way you maximize your possibilities is by being patient. Again, if you're impatient and you follow up with women that have many options, again, you're going to come off as weak, needy, desperate, insecure, and that woman will never get back to you. She may never get back to you regardless, but you want to give yourself the best possible shot. Put yourself out there. Create a great profile with high quality images, well written, as written as best as possible. Send a bunch of messages. Swipe right, if you use swipe right apps, as much as possible to women you're actually attracted to and that you like their profile, if there's a profile there. And then be patient. Be patient. The communication will trickle in over the course of time. But even when you are communicating with these women, you have to learn to understand, which is what I'm trying to say. You have to learn to understand, the levels of interest. If a woman responds to you and says hi, she's really not that interested. I ignore those. I'll block those, right? Or I would. I'm not out there anymore, obviously, but if I was still out there, I would ignore those. If she says something like, hey, Eli, you're cute, right? I'll get back and I'll say, or I would get back in those days and I'd say, well, there's more to me than looks, and see what they say. Some of them will get back and some of them won't, right? Okay? So you just have to maximize your opportunities, guys. And eventually, you will find the right person. One more thing I was going to say, I've forgot to mention this example again. Okay, some women will say, hey, Bob, hey, John, hey, Eli, hey, whatever, right? Your profile is unique. It stands out. I really like how raw and real you are. And I would really love to get to know you. You seem different than anyone else, blah, 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 right? And they write 1 or 2 paragraphs, right? I mean, honestly, what do you think? Or who do you think has a greater interest in you? A woman that writes a couple paragraphs, or a woman that just says hi? Or a woman that says, you seem cute? How many guys is she saying that to? Just like how many guys are saying that to her, right? When a woman says, hey, you're cute, she's basically doing to you what most guys do to all women, which is why they fail, right? You've got to stand out in online dating. High quality pictures, well-written profiles with grammar and spelling, punctuation, all that stuff, right? On point, okay? You've got to have great communication skills. You've got to be patient, right? Right? You got to have the right approach even once they connect with you. Stand out. I got to tell you that, guys. Learn to stand out by putting in more time and effort than any other guy, by making it more than just looks, even though initially it is about looks, right? Right? Obviously, if somebody responds to you and you respond to them, you're both physically attracted to each other. So you don't need to approach them and say, hey, cutie, how are you today? How many guys have told her that? Say, hey, I really like your profile. And it looks like you're having a lot of fun in your pictures, right? Now, you're noticing that she's cute. She's got a nice body, nice boobies, nice booty, right? Come on. She's noticing all that about you too, right? But you don't present it that way. You say, hey, look. Yeah, hey. You seem very interesting. It seems like you're looking for the same thing I am. And I really like how adventurous you appear in your pictures, right? So you're acknowledging that you're seeing her pictures and that you're attracted to her, but you're not coming off like a sick puppy dog. You're saying, that sounds like fun. Man, I'd love to join you on a hike one day or on a boat ride or whatever, right? See the difference right there? Stand out. Stand out, guys and gals too, but more so guys struggle with this. Be patient. Stand out and be patient. Have no expectations, and I promise you, results will eventually come. They may not come right away, but if you keep moving forward in the ways I mentioned here today, you'll have the best shot of finding that special someone. With that being said, I'm going to get on out of here. We are at 1 hour and 28 minutes. Perfect timing. It is 2:30 right now. Well, that's the last time Nightbot posted. It's probably like 2:35 Pacific right now. Cool. This is ending a little bit earlier. I'm going to wait a minute. What time did I start? I started at. It's probably got to be around 2. It's probably closer to 3 right now. Why does it say 2:30 on there? No, it's probably closer to 3 right now because I've been on for almost an hour and a half, and I started closer to 1:30 than 1:15. 2:45, 2:50. All right, folks. You're not going to get another piece of content from me today. Taking the rest of the day off. Going to watch the Giants game. Go Giants. Game 5. The divisional series is happening tonight. Go Giants. Go Giants. Go Giants. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.